Welcome back. I have Jeff Parker here to talk about some numbers and some interesting information about some activities that are coming up later in the month. So thanks for being here. How are you?
Good morning and welcome to the new week, right?
I know, another new week, right? For sure. So what do you got for us?
A couple things. We'll start with COVID numbers. This is yesterday's reported numbers. We have 565 new cases in Orange County. Unfortunately, 6 more deaths. So that's, and then one of the things that has been reported continuously over the weekend and started last week really is that there's a real concern about whether the cases are accurate or not because of this backlog up at the state of California. So it's anticipated that we're going to see some ratcheting up with some of the numbers, especially the number of cases that have been tested and the number of new cases that are going to come out.
Right.
But as we move into that and see how that plays out this week, we'll be able to come back and report more detail. We're still at 42 cases in the village. When I say the village, Laguna Woods, the city. So that's good news. That hasn't changed. Mm-hmm. But obviously some of the fear with regards to the number of deaths in Orange County, how does that relate? Unfortunately, we don't have all the specifics with regards to that relative to the Laguna. Up on the board is the new identified numbers, and which is good news on the left. And again, this goes back to, I want to, with the hesitation that we don't have all of the new numbers in, but our rate cases are down to 90 per 100,000. We were, if you remember, we were above that. We were in like 125 and 140. So that's good. We're headed in the right direction there. And our testing positive percentage is at 7.7%, which is just under that 8% threshold that the state wants. Now again, critical to that is going to be these new numbers once they get out of the state system. Okay. Now, my understanding is that everything has been compiled now into the new system, so it's now just a matter of getting them out to the counties. Okay. So we'll see those probably this next week. All right. And then the other good news is in the blue there is that our hospitalization rate has gone down. So again, positive numbers. Good. And our ICU beds have gone up. Yeah. So those are all good pieces of information. And I want to again congratulate the people in the community as we see these hospitalization rates, and there you can, good chart of it right there. See that going down.
Flattening that we're looking
compared to that we were in June and July.
Absolutely.
You know, coming down in that direction is a good thing. Again, the ICU beds is probably the more critical of it because those are the people that are really, really sick and impact that, unfortunately impact that death rate in the community. And I want to say again, 85% of the people who have unfortunately passed away are in that 55 and over category. Right. So again, thinking about the village here and how important it is to wear masks and social distance so that we don't have a large outbreak or spread of the virus.
Exactly. And you know what, everybody has been great about it, and as long as you're just smart about it, and if you decide to go out somewhere, just make sure that the place that you're going to does have the appropriate measures in place, because some places do not. And so when you get there, it's kind of a shock. So, you know, if they're not abiding, then go someplace else because you really want to keep yourself safe. And then regarding testing, we did have a great interview with Ronnie Andrews from Oncocyte, who helped us understand the various testings that are available out there. So antibodies is still coming, but we don't really have availability quite yet, but there's plenty of opportunity to be tested for COVID-19 as to whether or not you have it. So that is something that you just need to talk to your doctor about if you definitely need it. And then of course, there's always the questions about the testing, because there's a lot of questions about the testings quality, and I know that that's kind of going back and forth. So hopefully our numbers are what we need to hear about, and there isn't too many, you know, false positives and things like that, because I know they're worried about that. So.
Exactly. And hopefully once these new numbers of this backlog come out of the state, it's not going to be major dramatic shift for us. You know, hopefully Orange County has done a pretty good job of moving in the right direction, and so hopefully it's not going to impact us, because really what that means is it's going to slow down the opportunity to reopen. And, you know, and I know there's a lot of focus on schools right now because we're getting close to the start of the schools reopening. Most of them obviously required to go online right now until they can get past this certain period of having all of their categories off the state list.
Good. Well, let's hope that those numbers are going to be out here soon so we can figure it out.
Exactly.
Thanks.
Exactly.
Thank you. Thanks. What else you got? I know you are itching to tell us about something cool. That's
Well, I
happening.
wanted to mention a couple of things that are going on. Our rec department is working on a drive-in movie, and I know you've mentioned it before. That's August 21st and 22nd. The drive-in movies are going to be at 8 p.m. They're going to have cars showing up at around 7:30. This is over at our village maintenance facility.
Right.
That's at 23081 Via Campo Verde. And so tickets are on sale from 12 to 4, Monday through Friday, and you can call our recreation department for that, and $10 per car.
Right.
And this is sponsored by the Village Community Fund. They've taken a number of the expenses that we had for this operation and have funded it, so that's way we can offset and keep the cost lower for our residents. So this ought to be fun, nice couple of movies, and the old style of drive-in movie. So it's going to be interesting, and if it works well, then we'll continue to look at how else we can do that type of activity. That way it keeps people safe. They're, obviously families, and, if you're not a family group, make sure you're wearing your mask and there's the social distancing with regards to that.
Well, that should be fun. In fact, we're seeing a lot of pop-up drive-ins. There's one I noticed down in San Juan Capistrano, right off of Ortega Highway and Antonio Lapata. And right there at the Equestrian Center, they have a pop-up drive-in now. So I think it's great. It's pretty remarkable that we're going back to that era, but certainly welcome, because we all like to see movies.
And it's a great activity to get out there with your family, definitely.
That's right.
All right, the other one I wanted to mention is this week we start our paving and concrete work out there in the community. With that in Calle Sonora, via Buena Vista, via Carroza, Vista del Mundo, and Duvernay, and VMS. Those are the cul-de-sac areas that are going to have just some active paving and concrete work. So look for our signs and our cones and stuff like that. And then in September, we start our big overlay, which is the main streets where we're doing major asphalt work. We'll start in September. So I'll have a little bit more details about that in our upcoming meeting, so we can give enough information in advance to our residents on that.
All right.
And then finally, next week, I just wanted to mention we'll have a number of televised meetings with regards to what we call version 2 of our budget process. These will be the televised meetings next week, not this week, but next week, for all GRF, United, and Third, to take a look at their final versions of their budgets. They've been working on it very diligently over the last couple of weeks, and working with our finance staff. We've been putting together the numbers, and it's very difficult in this period of time, but I want to assure all our residents we're doing the best to try to keep those assessments as low as possible.
Good news. All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll see you again on Friday.
Okay.
All right. And remember, if you want more information about the drive-in movie, you can always contact Recreation. Stay tuned, and we will have some information about do-it-yourself activities.